Hey friends, today I am going to be doing a video that I have never done before. Here on my channel, I have done some Q&As in the past, a couple of them. I'm planning on doing some more, but something that I've never done is a tag video. And I know that these, I think they're still popular, right? Here on YouTube. These videos they're really fun to watch. I love watching different tag videos. Today, I am going to be doing the Disney Parks tag video. So basically what a tag video is it's just like a bunch of questions compiled, like it's the same list of questions. So different creators, take the list of questions. This happens to be the Disney Parks tag, and it's 18 questions of Disney park related topics. So I'm very excited to sit down and do this. I thought this would be fun. I want to start doing more sit down videos like this. So I thought this would be a fun one to kind of kick off, this kind of new format. I'm still going to be doing the vlogs, the Disney vlogs, in addition to wanting to do sprinkled in things like this, because getting to sit down and really talk Disney with you guys is so much fun. I think it gets, a lot of great conversations going. I love getting to learn more about everybody else out there in this community. So this is a fun way to do that. With these questions, so I looked this up. I'll go ahead and link the questions of where I found this, the blog that I found these on, the Disney Parks tag. I'll link that down below if you want to go ahead and follow along, or if you want to make a video as well answering these questions. Some of these I've kind of looked at. I've basically glanced this over and just I determined that, oh yeah, these look fun, I want to do this. But I haven't read through every single question because I really want to keep this video very, just off the cuff and we're having a sit down, fun conversation. So, all right, with that, let's just jump right into it. My name's Megan, by the way. I don't know if I said that. If you're new here, hi, I'm Megan. Nice to meet you. This is my channel, Magical Meg, where I upload Disney and travel related videos, but mostly Disney videos. All right, let's get started now. So the first question, which Disney parks have you visited? I have crossed off all of the Disney parks in the US. I have been to all 4 parks and the 2 water parks at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And I've been to the 2 parks out in Disneyland at the original Disney Resort in Anaheim, California. Walt Disney World is the park that I go to the most though. That's the park that my family, we've been Disney Annual Passholders for the last 11 years so that's definitely my home park, and I actually plan on moving to the Orlando, Florida area from Pennsylvania in the very near future. So Disney World is, I love Disneyland as well. It's, amazing. Vacationing out in California, going to Disneyland is so special. Walking where Walt Disney actually walked, it's incredible. However, Disney World is my home. That's where I consider home to be, is at Walt Disney World. Okay, so question number 2 is, what is your earliest Disney park memory? So my earliest Disney park memory, this would be at Walt Disney World in Florida. My very first trip was when I was 6 years old in kindergarten. So that was in 2003, 2004. That was my first trip to a Disney park, and that just started it off. I've been like this ever since. But my earliest memory, so from that trip, so I was in kindergarten, like I said. This one technically isn't at the park yet, but it's a story that my family loves to reference quite often. And that was when we were on my very first Disney trip. I was so excited to be going to Disney. My parents, they are the original Disney park fanatics in the family. Both of them grew up going to Walt Disney World. My parents actually honeymooned at Walt Disney World. They stayed at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort the year that it opened for their honeymoon. So I've been just surrounded by Disney ever since I was born, truly. And my parents raised me from a young age with always talking to me about Disney World. They were waiting to take me when I was in kindergarten and old enough to remember it. But they had just all through my childhood talked to me about Disney. So even before I went to Disney, they had showed me so many videos and their own pictures and everything. I already knew so many things of what stuff was and what type of attractions were there and everything. So the story that my family loves to reference all the time was that when we were landing at MCO, I'm in the plane and I look over at the control tower there at the airport, and I asked my parents if that was the Tower of Terror. That story gets brought up so many times. Pretty much every time we land at Orlando International Airport, we usually look at the control tower and like somebody will ask if that's Tower of Terror. So that's like something, I guess that's kind of like the very first like vivid memory I have, like flying in and asking that, because I was so excited to ride the Tower of Terror, and like I just thought any tall building as soon as we got into Orlando would be that. I guess I also thought that like we were all, like everyone on that plane was just going to Walt Disney World and like we were just gonna land right in the middle of the park, I guess. But other than that, like my first memory in the park, I can remember it would have been that same day. I'm pretty sure like we checked in, we were staying at Port Orleans Riverside, my very first trip. My first like couple trips to Disney, we actually stayed at Port Orleans Riverside every time. I'm pretty sure we like checked right in and went like right to Magic Kingdom. If not, it was definitely like that next day. For some reason, I think it was the first day though. I think we like had an early flight, like came in and then like left and went right to the park. I think that's how it went. But I can remember coming in, walking down Main Street, and I just remember as a little kid being like wowed by the castle. And it was so perfect. They were doing the castle show. I don't know which one it would have been at the time during that era, but they were doing the castle show and like the characters were up there dancing, and it was just like the best like entrance into the park, and entrance into the magic was like, you know, seeing the castle for the first time, but also like seeing that show. Another vivid memory from that same day, I know this is now like a lot of them, but this is just kind of like, you know, a collection of it. All of it happened like right that first, you know, day of that trip. I remember my parents like looked at me and asked me, where do you want to go first? Like, what do you want your first ride to be? Because as I mentioned, you know, they had already, you know, showed me, you know, books and videos about Disney World, so I was familiar with a lot of the attractions there. So they asked me what I wanted to go ahead and do first, and what I said was the Haunted Mansion. That was what I wanted my first ride in Walt Disney World to be, and that's exactly what we went and did. The reason I was so excited to ride the Haunted Mansion was because the Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy had like just come out that year, and I had like just watched that movie, and I was like so into it. To this day, that's something that I feel that the Haunted Mansion movie that came out with Eddie Murphy in it, that movie is so funny, and I think it is so underrated as a Disney movie. I love watching that like every Halloween. I've just popped that in sometimes like year round. Just, I love that movie. I'd like to see a sequel of that, or I'd like to see like another Haunted Mansion inspired movie in the future. I think that movie deserved a lot more credit than it got. That's a different topic, but anyway, because I had recently seen that movie and was into it, Haunted Mansion was like on my mind. I thought it was so cool. Like, I got the concept of, you know, the fact that that movie was based on the ride. What I didn't get the concept of though was that the ride was a concept made by Walt Disney and had been around for several years, whereas that movie had just been produced that year. And I, in my head as a child, like I thought that all the characters in that movie were gonna be in the ride. Like I was fully in my head expecting to see an animatronic of Eddie Murphy like in the ride. This was what I was thinking the ride was gonna be like, and of course it's not. And I still like loved it, and I got off, and the first souvenir that I wanted, a souvenir I still have to this day, is the key from the Haunted Mansion. That was the first souvenir I wanted in a Disney park, and I still have it in my possession to this day. It means so much to me. So yeah, Eddie Murphy is not in the Haunted Mansion, just so you know. There you go. Those are a couple of my like earliest Disney park memories. This brings us now to question number 3. Which Disney park is your favorite? So at Disney World, oh my gosh, this is always so hard, and you can ask me this question tomorrow and I'll give you an entirely different answer. I feel like if you go back through my vlogs, I've maybe touched upon what my favorite park is, and it's always something different. It varies. A lot of times I say Animal Kingdom because that park really does hold a very special place to me. I am a huge animal lover and just love everything about Animal Kingdom. I love just being able to walk around. I don't even have to ride any rides at Animal Kingdom. I can just go into that park and just walk the trails, look at the animals, and be like so content and so happy. So Animal Kingdom is definitely up there, but then also Epcot. Epcot is so incredible. Epcot might be my favorite because you have all of the different festivals. That it's what keeps that park, you know, so exciting, and there's always something new happening and so much food. We love the food. And that's my parents' favorite park, and that's the park as a family that we spend the most time in. There's always, you know, it seems like the most to do in that park. So probably Epcot. Although Animal Kingdom is like right there. So it's Animal Kingdom and Epcot are like my two faves. And then we didn't even touch the West Coast. I still feel like Walt Disney World as a whole I love more than Disneyland just because it's home to me. But I love Disneyland Park, the traditional Disneyland park in California. It is so magical. Like I've at times thought, you know, I love it more than like our Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, but then I would never want to like replace it and like just drop Disneyland on top of Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom has its own things that mean so much to me. So yeah, you know, it's one of those things. I love them all. I love all the Disney parks. If I have to give you an answer though, Epcot. If I have to give you an answer, there you go. Just a real quick one. I love how every single one of these questions, there's like it's a roundabout explanation. I have so many things I like. I can't just tell you one thing. It's Disney. I love it all. All right, so next question, question number 4. This is an exciting one. Which on-site hotels have you stayed at? Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to think about this. Okay, so let me just kind of like go through my life and think about what like the first ones I would have stayed at were. So like I mentioned, when I was in like elementary school, you know, kindergarten, elementary school, my first couple trips that we took to Walt Disney World, my family always stayed at Port Orleans Riverside. So that was my first hotel that I stayed at. Next would have been All-Star Movies. I've stayed at All-Star Movies. This isn't now going in any order. I'm just trying to like remember all the different ones I've stayed at. So Port Orleans Riverside, All-Star Movies, Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, Art of Animation, Grand Floridian, Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary. So would you consider that Contemporary as well? Or it's Bay Lake Tower at Contemporary. So Animal Kingdom Lodge, All-Star Sports. That was more recently that I stayed at All-Star Sports for the first time. Oh, Saratoga Springs. Did I say Saratoga Springs? I've stayed there a few times. I think that's it. I'll pop up if I forgot anything, but that's the list. Also, I'm not sure if this question also applies to out in Disneyland. Of the Disneyland resorts I have stayed in, I've almost completed the trifecta of all 3. I've stayed in Grand Californian in the past, and I've stayed at Paradise Pier Hotel in the past. So I just need to check off the Disneyland Hotel. I visited it, but I haven't stayed in it. So I just need to check off that, and I will have stayed in all the ones in the Disneyland Resort in California. That was a fun question. I like that one. Question number 5. What is your favorite Disney holiday photo? Favorite Disney holiday photo? Okay, this is kind of a random question. So I guess like just like a picture that I've taken at the holidays. Probably, there's a picture I love. I think it was from 2017. My family has this picture printed and in a frame in our kitchen. I will insert it. It was from 2017, I'm pretty sure. It was the first year that they put the floating Christmas like ornaments in the lagoon around Echo Lake at Hollywood Studios. And there's a picture, it's me, my mom, and my dad. I think it was like our first full day of that trip in 2017, our like Christmas trip. And it was the first year that they put those ornaments there. And so we have a picture where it's like, you know, that in the background and the Christmas tree. I just think that area is so gorgeous. And that's just like a very nice family photo that I have. And that is displayed in our kitchen. So probably that one. I think that's my favorite Disney holiday photo. All right, the next question. Which is your favorite castle? Cinderella's. Cinderella Castle at Walt Disney World. Gotta love it. Regardless of what color it is. In my trip announcement video I just filmed, I had a whole thing about, you know, the new castle color scheme that they're going with for the 50th. And I'm still like deciding if I love it. I think I love it. I'm pretty sure I love it. But regardless, like they could paint the castle some crazy out there color and I would just still love it. Because it's Cinderella Castle, it's Walt Disney World, it's my home park. So Cinderella Castle, easy, is the best. Disneyland, it is so charming. Like every time I see it when I'm at Disneyland, I'm like, okay, while it's not the grandeur, like, oh wow, like aspect, it is just so cute and like quaint and very regal and special in its own way. And I love the walkthrough that's in it. So I love that one too, but it's not Cinderella Castle. So now question number 7. What is your favorite land / area in a park? Okay, Adventureland. If we're talking about Magic Kingdom, definitely hands down Adventureland. I love just the palm trees, like the lush greenery, all the tropical vibes. If you know me, like here I am wearing this this I actually got from Uniqlo on our most recent trip at Disney Springs. You gotta check them out for some awesome Disney merch. But yeah, it's like, you know, this shirt is essentially my style. It's like this, you know, very Floridian, like tropical vibes always. I love like those Hawaiian prints and everything. So I definitely love the vibe of Adventureland with all the lush greenery and palm trees. Adventureland is like my favorite area, like aesthetic wise in the parks. Question number 8, what is your all-time favorite ride? Oh my goodness, this is another one that, like my favorite park, you can ask me this tomorrow and I will tell you an entirely different answer. I love the Haunted Mansion. I think that's one that's like, you know, for the nostalgia, like a classic ride in the park. I really love the Haunted Mansion, but then People Mover just takes the cake. I just actually addressed that also in that trip announcement video that I did. I was talking about the things I was looking forward to on my upcoming trip, and I was saying how I'm looking forward to the People Mover reopening, and hopefully it's reopened when we're there on our upcoming trip. The People Mover, I think it's my favorite ride. I love the People Mover. But then if you're talking like thrill rides, like ones that are, you know, the newer set of rides, like that Disney's coming out with right now, Flight of Passage is incredible. Like it gives me chills when I ride it and I just don't want it to end. I want to just keep going. Rise of the Resistance though, when that opened, I just rode that for my very first time on our last trip and I was wowed. I was just, you know, really like, it was so immersive. The way the ride vehicles just moved and there's no track. It's the trackless technology. It's definitely like the future of Disney. So I love that one. So there you go. It's like Haunted Mansion, People Mover, Pandora, Flight of Passage, and Rise. If I had to pick just like one of them, like if I could ride, oh there we go, if I could ride one of them right now, I kind of think the People Mover or Flight of Passage maybe. I don't know. And then I still have another one, Living with the Land. I also love Living with the Land. I consider Living with the Land to be like the People Mover of Epcot. If I could, yeah, because I was just thinking if I could like just transform myself there right now to ride one ride. I actually think how I'm like the mood I'm in right now, I could go for being on Living with the Land. So you see, I'm all over the place with giving these answers, but that's my favorites. All right, so now question number 9. What do you think is the most underrated ride? Well, that is perfect. I'm gonna say Living with the Land. I think that that ride is very underrated and it is truly like the People Mover of Epcot. I love Living with the Land. I could just ride that around all day. I think that one deserves some more hype because People Mover, I've always loved People Mover, and in recent years People Mover has been getting the hype. It's getting like merchandise. Like I have a shirt that says, you know, have your people call my people, with the People Mover on it that I love. I have a Meet Me at the People Mover shirt. Like it's getting, you know, all that hype and attention. People appreciate what the People Mover is. I think that we need like Living with the Land to start getting the same hype. So that's gonna be my answer. Living with the Land. Question number 10. What do you think is the most overrated ride? Oh gosh, I gotta think about this. I hesitate. I have one that popped in my mind and I hesitate to even say it. I'm gonna say it though, guys. Here we go. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I loved it. I'm excited to ride it again. I'm bitter that it replaced the Great Movie Ride. I wish that like they would have just made a Mickey Minnie attraction somewhere else and just updated, you know, the Great Movie. I think the Great Movie Ride was fine how it was, but if you wanted to update it with more, you know, modern movies or even Disney movies or something. But yeah, to take away, and I didn't want to have that mindset going into the ride. I was like, you know, I just want to appreciate this ride for what it is. I'm not going to compare it to Great Movie Ride because they are two different things. Like just because it's taking the house, like the space of where Great Movie Ride was, I was like, I'm not going to compare the two. And that is how I went in and, you know, went about the ride with. And when you watch the vlog, when I ride Mickey and Minnie's for the first time, I loved it. Like I loved the song. I enjoyed it, but I just feel like it's not something that I do have to rush back to. Like I don't think I would wait a long amount of time in line for it, if you get what I mean. Like it's not one of those ones like Rise of the Resistance or Flight of Passage. I would wait, you know, 2 hours in line, you know, to get on either one of those rides. But I don't think I would do that same thing with Mickey and Minnie's. And you know, it is getting a lot of hype right now. So that's just I feel bad even saying it because I did enjoy the ride. I loved it. But now it's just like as it's sunk in, I'm like, it's like the thrill's worn off. Like I don't know if it's my favorite. So that's just kind of like, that was what popped in my head when I read that question. That's a hard one. Question 11, what is your favorite show slash parade? Ooh, I love the Festival of Fantasy parade at Magic Kingdom. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that to come back because currently, you know, when I'm filming this, the parks are, you know, doing the socially distant, you know, meet and greets with the characters and everything, and there's no parades or anything happening. There's like, you know, the character cavalcades that will come through, but it's not the same as like a full Disney parade. I'm excited for that to come back. Festival of Fantasy, I love just all the characters. I love the soundtrack. It's very fun, very magical. Also, talking about a show, it's actually going to be over on the West Coast at Disneyland Resort at California Adventure, the Frozen show out there. Oh my gosh. When I was out there in 2017 with my parents, me and my mom actually went back and watched that a second time on our trip because that show was so incredible. Do you guys remember, I think it was at the 2017 D23, they announced a theater for Main Street. Like it was going to be in our Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World that was going to be able to do the caliber of show like Frozen out in California Adventure. That was the D23 announcement I was most excited for. More than Tron, more than anything else. I was most excited about that. And then that got scrapped. And there was a lot of things that I heard, kind of rumors that it'd be very hard for them to do that in Magic Kingdom there, just with the like space, like crowd control. So that was a reason why it got scrapped, but I think it was also a money thing. And that was back when we didn't even go through a global shutdown or anything. So now I feel like having a theater like that come to Walt Disney World is further and further away, but it is something that I would love to see one day in the future because that is my favorite show. Frozen out in California Adventure. Watch that show. Don't miss that when you are out there. Okay, question number 12. Do you enjoy meeting characters? I do enjoy meeting characters. It is so much fun it's something I've gotten into like more recently, you know, kind of taking the time. And like right now, obviously, like I said, in the parks, character meet and greets are very different, but it does give you like some really great, you know, photo opportunities. Just like, it's fun. It's just fun to like, you know, talk to the Disney characters. It makes for some really, really great memories. I've had like some fun conversations when I've been like vlogging character meet and greets, like especially with the Star Wars characters. That's been really cool, like meeting Rey, meeting Darth Vader. I think it's so fun like capturing those moments like on the vlogs when I'm in the parks. Question number 13, what characters have you met and who was your favorite? Oh my gosh, I haven't met like that many characters. Like usually when I'm in the parks, like I'm focused on other things. That's why I said I'm getting into like doing character meet and greets more recently. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, who have I met? I've met Mickey, Minnie, you know, like all the Fab Five, Pluto, Goofy, Donald, Daisy, Stitch. Met him out in the Paradise Pier Hotel. I've met Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Chewbacca, Rey, a lot of the Star Wars characters. Of the princesses, I've met Ariel, Belle, Snow White, basically all the princesses at like Cinderella's royal table. I've met them. Aurora, I'm sure I'm missing some. That's kind of an overview. Okay, and to answer who's my favorite character to meet? I'm gonna say Ariel. I remember one time having a really fun meet and greet with Ariel. The first time that I ever met her in her location in New Fantasyland in her grotto was with my friend Nicole. Oh my gosh, this was a couple years ago, but it was just like so fun. Ariel like complimented my red hair. I think she said something to me like, you could be one of my sisters, and like that just like made my day. It was so cute. It's such a sweet interaction. So probably Ariel. Ariel is my favorite princess, and that's like a meet and greet that it was a couple years ago now, but like always stands out in my head. Question number 14, what is your favorite restaurant? We could be here a while because like me answering my favorite park or my favorite ride, I have quite a few favorite restaurants. Oh my goodness. California Grill, that one is incredible. I'm a big sushi person, so I love the sushi up at California Grill. I love their flatbreads up there as well. I love the view. Like I think California Grill, to me, the reason I love it so much, it's like the food is great, but also the atmosphere of like the view and everything that you get from up top and going out on those decks. Like I feel like a princess when I'm up there because it's just like you're on top of the world. So that's probably, and that's actually one, it's been, the last time I would have been there was like in, gosh, when was the last time I was at California Grill? Gotta get that in the books. So yeah, probably California Grill. I also love Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest gets, you know, once again, it's that atmosphere, the pork shank there. Oh my gosh. It's marinated in coffee for 24 hours. It just melts in your mouth. That is so good. Another one, here I go with giving like multiple favorites again, but another one, Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Talk about, you get the atmosphere of sitting and being able to look out at the savannah. Once again, you know, I'm an animal person, so being able to, like, as I'm having my meal, watch the savannah with all the animals, that's so much fun. And the food is incredible. Get the naan bread. The bread service there is what they are known for. You have to get it with all the sauces and do like all in the full experience. That is so good. I've also gotten before from there like a naan bread like dish that had, I think it was like chicken on it. That was incredible. I've just always had such a good experience there. So that's another highlight for me. Okay, so question number 15. We are moving through these. Okay, do you have any Disney traditions? This is a good question. Do I have any Disney traditions? I know I have to. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm sure there's like certain things that my family like always does and I'm just like blanking on it. Oh my gosh, okay, well here's one. I just thought of this. This is like the first thing that popped in my head. When we're driving in underneath the gates, we always do the countdown just like they do on Magical Express. Like whenever we have our own car there on property or we have a rental car, we always count down, and we stay off property a lot, so we drive in to, you know, Disney World property each day of the vacation to go into the parks. And so we always, as we're driving in, we always can't miss it. We do the countdown with 10, 9, 8. We count down to getting under the gates. And usually if there's not cars like on either side of us, my dad, he's usually always driving, he'll always honk the horn, like, you know, like to celebrate. If there's a lot of cars around, we won't do that to like concern people, but whenever there's like not people there, he'll always honk the horn. And like, so that's the first thing I think of that's like a tradition that we do, is like our countdown going in underneath the gates every day. Question number 16. What is your most fond Disney park memory? Oh my gosh, there's so many. This is another question that's like, there's so many memories that I have over the years, just being there with family. Probably the favorite memory that I have was when my pup-up was honored as Magic Kingdom's Veteran of the Day and got to participate in the Magic Kingdom flag retreat ceremony for the day. And we all got to be marching behind him in a special parade down Main Street, USA. And that was just so incredible. I know how much that meant to him, and it just meant so much to our entire family, and just the Disney cast members that, you know, did that, you know, made all that happen for us were just so lovely and so sweet. And like, it really, I had like such a moment then that I was like, you know, this place that I love, it's like, it's not just about, you know, the fun and the parks and like the rides and everything. It's like the Disney magic, really what the magic is like, it's so much more. It's, you know, it's people, it's this community, this love that everyone there exhibits. That is such a special moment. That is something I will remember forever. All right, so question number 17. What is your favorite thing you've bought in the parks? Oh my gosh, I buy a lot of Disney merchandise, And recently I've been trying to buy, like, to wait when I see something I love in the parks and wait till it comes to the outlets, because it typically will always come to the outlets, is what I found. Either the outlets there in Orlando, the Character Warehouse outlets, or I have an outlet near me where I live here in Pennsylvania that gets park merchandise. So I try to be patient anymore and not buy as much in the parks and wait till it comes to the outlets. I'll link, I have some outlet haul videos that I've done here on my channel. Those are always so much fun. But trying to think of like a moment, there's so many things. Like over the years, I've bought like exciting purchases in the parks. The one that I can think of like kind of recently is I bought my very first ever Loungefly bag. That was on our most recent trip in the fall this past year in 2020. And I had always wanted a Loungefly. I was never sure if it would work for me because I didn't know if it had enough space for like all my camera gear and everything. But I always just loved seeing all the different prints and designs they came out with. And like, I always had like this back and forth, like, do I get it? Do I not get it? And every time I would see a new design, I would be like, oh, I really do like want one. I was like waiting, and it was the trip we were just on that a couple of the days, like, you know, we would go and do other things around Orlando since we weren't going into the parks every single day. And sometimes I was like, you know, it'd be nice if I was carrying around my big Magical Meg Vera Bradley backpack that I have. And that is a bigger bag. And it was like, you know, we would just be going out on these little jaunts, and like, I've always felt like I don't need this big of a bag. So it kind of was the perfect like way to get me thinking. I was like, I could use a Loungefly right now. So I treated myself to a Loungefly on this most recent trip. The one I got, I need to see if there's like an official name to the print, but it's the blue one that has like all of the different like characters and park icons on it. I love it so much. That was just like a very exciting, like, I remember buying that. Also, talk about another bag purchase. My very first time I ever bought a Dooney and Burke Disney bag was like back, oh my gosh, I was in like early high school, maybe even middle school. And I remember buying it in the gift shop in the Grand Floridian, the Summer Lace store, which I think they renamed when they did the whole, you know, they updated Meisner's Lounge, made it the Enchanted Rose. They took over part of the men's shop and kind of combined it with the shop downstairs. I think they've changed the name of it now. But anyway, it was in that shop back when it was Summer Lace. I bought in there my first Dooney and Burke. My parents gave me the money to buy it, and I just felt like so fancy, like that I had a Dooney and Burke bag. So that's another like iconic souvenir I remember buying. Okay, so now question number 18. Here we are. This is the final question. Describe your dream Disney holiday. My dream like Disney vacation. Oh my goodness. I would love to go on a Disney cruise because I have not been on a Disney cruise. I used to work in the travel industry. I no longer do work in the travel industry, but I used to. And back a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to tour the Disney Magic when it was docked in New York. And that just got my like Disney cruise bug. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. So I really, really want to do a Disney cruise one day soon, so that would be great. But something that has been on my mind for forever and something I've dreamed about for the longest time is I want to visit every single Disney park all around the world. So all the ones over in Asia, Shanghai, Tokyo. I think I'm most excited about Tokyo. There's so many amazing things there. Hong Kong, Paris, over in Europe. I have to visit Disneyland Paris, all of them. I need to visit all of the Disney parks around the world. So my dream Disney vacation would be like taking like 3 months and just like going on a never-ending world tour and like checking off every single one of those destinations like all at once. Like that would be amazing. Maybe that's like a lot. Maybe like just doing like a trip that's like all the Asia parks, like all of them kind of grouped together. But yeah, my dream Disney trip is to visit every single Disney park in the world. So there we go. That was 18 Disney questions in the little Disney parks tag. This was really fun. I love how these questions kind of just like prompt for like fun conversation to kind of like share, you know, some different Disney stories and fun things like that. That's always a really good time. So go ahead and leave me some comments of like what some of your answers are to some of these questions. I would love to continue these conversations in the comments after this video goes up and just talk Disney with all you guys. And also I'm currently uploading my vlog series from Disney World 2020. Those videos are going up currently here on my channel, so be sure to be subscribed so you can check all of those videos out. Also, we are going on our Walt Disney World 2021 vacation. So a lot of exciting things coming up here on the channel. Make sure that you have the bell on too, because I'm planning when I'm in Disney, planning to do some more live streams. So when you have the bell on, you get notified as soon as I go live, anything like that, so you don't miss anything there. So thank you all so much again for joining me to have this little fun Disney chat. I want to do a lot more videos like this, so if there's any particular topic that you'd be interested in seeing, definitely let me know that as well in the comments. Thank you all again for all of the love and support that you always give me. It is truly, truly appreciated. I hope that you have an amazing day today, have a magical day, and with that, make today magical, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye everybody!